Most homeowners with a small front yard make the same assumption: limited space means limited design options. That assumption is wrong, and it's the reason so many small front yards end up looking unfinished or unintentional. Welcome to our channel, Home Garden Inspo. When you apply geometric concrete pavers, architectural plants with real visual presence, vertical green walls that reclaim privacy without consuming ground space, and calibrated lighting that works after dark, a small front yard becomes the strongest design feature your home has. This video breaks down every layer in sequence: hardscaping and layout, plant selection, accents, and lighting. Each section gives you specific, applicable choices, not general inspiration. By the end, you will have a clear design direction you can act on immediately. Let's get into it. Large format concrete stepping stones placed with deliberate spacing create an immediate visual shift in any front yard. When you set oversized pavers as floating islands and fill the surrounding ground plane with dark lava rock or crushed white gravel, the contrast reads as architectural. The negative space between each stone becomes part of the design. It gives the yard a structured, gallery-quality composition that holds up in person and photographs cleanly. This approach also eliminates most ongoing maintenance since gravel suppresses weeds and requires no mowing, edging, or seasonal replanting. The scale of the pavers matters significantly in a small yard. Large stones push the eye to read the space as bigger than the actual square footage. Smaller pavers do the opposite and fragment the composition. Choose a warm gray or charcoal tone to keep the palette grounded without competing with your plant selections. Keep the edges of your gravel bed clean and contained with a steel or aluminum border. The geometry carries the design. Every other element supports it. A privacy hedge solves one problem and creates three others. It consumes ground space, requires consistent trimming, and adds visual bulk that shrinks a small yard fast. A vertical metal trellis mounted along your fence line or property boundary solves the privacy problem without any of those costs. Train star jasmine, clematis, or trumpet vine up the trellis, and within a single growing season you get full eye-level screening. The footprint stays at 0 inches wide. The wall goes vertical. The design benefit goes beyond function. As vines fill in and the metal structure disappears into foliage, you end up with a living surface that shifts through the seasons. It's fragrant in spring, dense in summer, and structurally interesting in fall and winter when the foliage thins. The texture it introduces softens what would otherwise be a hard boundary line in a compact space. It requires minimal maintenance once established and costs a fraction of what a mature hedge would. Coming up next, we cover what to do when your yard has a slope. A sloped front yard gives you a structural asset that most designers actively pay to create. Raised steel or timber planter boxes arranged in terraced levels turn grade change into a layered, multi-dimensional composition. Each tier holds its own soil, manages water runoff naturally, and defines a clean planting zone with visible edges. Weathering steel, commonly sold as corten, works particularly well here. Its warm rust patina pairs with dark mulch and concrete tones in a way that reads intentional rather than industrial. Terracing also solves one of the core design problems in sloped yards: the lack of a clear visual path. When you build defined tiers, you create a sequence. The eye travels upward along the slope and lands on your front entry. That directional movement gives the yard purpose and draws attention exactly where you want it. Apply a consistent mulch color across every tier to unify the composition. Use the same planter material throughout to keep the design coherent from the street. Elevation becomes your strongest layout feature. Every well-designed front yard needs one plant that establishes hierarchy. In a modern design, that role belongs to an architectural tree with a defined sculptural form. A multi-trunk Japanese maple delivers layered canopy structure and strong seasonal color shift. A weeping cherry produces a cascading silhouette that reads almost graphic against a clean facade. A potted olive tree works for drier climates and brings a low-profile, Mediterranean character that pairs well with concrete and steel materials. These trees function as focal points. The eye goes there first, orients, then reads the rest of the yard. Scale and containment matter in a compact space. A specimen tree placed in a large concrete or corten planter near your front entry creates immediate visual weight without occupying more ground than the container itself. Choose one architectural tree and stop there. Two competing focal points cancel each other out and reduce the overall impact of both. Modern landscape design earns its authority through selection and restraint, not through volume. If the structural anchor sets the hierarchy, the grasses define the texture, and that is exactly where we go next. Hard materials dominate a modern front yard design. Concrete, steel, and gravel are durable and visually strong, but a yard built entirely from those elements reads cold at ground level. Ornamental grasses correct that without disrupting the contemporary palette. Fine-textured clumping varieties like blue fescue, Japanese forest grass, and feather reed grass add softness, natural movement, and organic rhythm to a design that would otherwise feel static. They respond to wind, catch angled morning and evening light, and bring a physical quality to the space that hardscape cannot produce. Placement and repetition determine how well grasses read in a compact yard. Plant a single species in groups of 3 or 5 along a border or at the base of a retaining wall tier. Avoid mixing multiple grass varieties in the same bed because the visual complexity works against the clean lines of a modern design. Blue fescue's cool silver blue tone pairs directly with dark mulch and gray concrete. Japanese forest grass cascades in a golden green arc that softens any hard edge it meets. Pick one variety per zone, plant it in odd-numbered clusters, and let the texture carry the section. A compact yard planted with too many colors reads small and disordered. The most effective modern front yards operate on a tight, controlled palette, deep green and silver gray foliage paired with white or matte black hardscape accents. This color discipline creates visual unity across the whole space. When every element shares the same tonal family, the yard reads as a single composed design rather than a collection of individual plants placed near each other. The application is direct. Select plants primarily for foliage tone rather than flower color. Society garlic, silver-leafed artemisia, dark mondo grass, and compact boxwood all hold their color year-round and require low maintenance. Reserve white and black tones for planters, gravel, and architectural elements rather than seasonal blooms that change and disappear. When the color palette stays consistent across hardscape and softscape alike, the overall design gains a scale and confidence that a mixed color planting cannot achieve in a small space. Now we move into the accent and lighting decisions that complete the design. Two oversized planters flanking your front door do more structural design work than almost any other single addition to a compact front yard. They create symmetry, establish a clear arrival point, and give the entry a sense of weight and intentionality. Scale is the most common failure point here. Undersized planters read as decorative afterthoughts. Go larger than feels proportionate from close range. From the street, where the design actually gets read, larger always wins. Single-species plantings keep the look clean and maintenance simple. Two matching snake plants, a pair of boxwood globes, or identical dwarf olive topiaries give each planter a defined, uniform silhouette that holds through every season. Raw concrete vessels offer surface texture and a warm neutral tone that pairs with almost any facade material. Glossy black ceramic creates sharper contrast against light-colored exteriors and introduces a formal quality to the entry. Choose one material and use it consistently throughout the yard. Mixing planter styles fragments the composition. Consistency is what makes the design read as complete rather than assembled. Most residential front yards shut down visually at sunset. The landscaping you invested in disappears into the dark, and the home loses all of its daytime presence. Low-voltage LED uplights placed at the base of your architectural trees push light upward through the canopy and create depth, shadow, and dimension that transform modest plantings into dramatic focal points. Add wash lights along your home's facade and the entire front elevation gains texture after dark. The cumulative effect is a significant upgrade in how your home reads from the street at night. Installation is practical and accessible without professional help. Solar-powered LED fixtures now deliver reliable output and eliminate wiring entirely. Position each uplight 12 to 18 inches from the base of the plant to maximize the upward throw of light. Choose a warm white color temperature around 2700 K to keep the overall atmosphere inviting. Limit yourself to 2 to 4 well-placed fixtures rather than filling the yard with path lights. Precise placement produces better results than high volume. If this video gave you a clear direction forward, you now have everything you need to start making specific decisions for your own front yard. A small front yard does not require a large budget or a professional designer to produce a strong result. It requires a clear sequence of decisions. Start with the hardscape and lock in your layout. Then select your plants for structure, texture, and foliage tone. Finish with the accent details and lighting that carry the design from daylight into evening. The principle running through every layer of this design approach is selectivity. Each element you add should serve a specific function in the overall composition. Nothing added for variety, nothing kept out of obligation. Start with one decision today. Replace your walkway, order your anchor tree, or place 2 concrete planters at your front door. That first decision sets the direction. Every choice after it becomes easier. If this video gave you a clear direction, hit the like button and subscribe. We publish modern landscaping and exterior design content every week. Drop your front yard details in the comments, dimensions, climate zone, and what you're working with, and let's identify the right starting point together. See you in the next one.